Are you ready?
Train you today. Yes, let's go.
3, 2, 1, go.
My hands steady, I feel ready, but my legs heavy, I don't get it. How come I haven't hit it already? Still working, I'm still learning, I'm still searching, finally earning something, finally turning something called a profit. If I hear you talking.
So I'll let you know about my next challenge I got coming up. I've been a bit quiet on YouTube lately, but I found a few of my posts were just, I was posting for the sake of posting, so I figured I'd rather just make a video when I've actually got something to make and something to say for myself. Anyway, so this one is just a quick video to let you know that I'm raising money for charity. I'm raising money for a charity called the Royal Brompton and Harefield Hospital Charity. They're two hospitals in London that they specialise in heart and lung transplants. And the reason why these two hospitals have been brought to my attention is because a very, very close friend of mine has had to have a lung transplant, a double lung transplant at the Harefield Hospital. It might be Harefield Hospital, I'm not sure, so I'm pronouncing it correctly. I will try and speak to them to find out, double check that I am in communications with them at the moment. But anyway, basically a good friend of mine, I met her in the gym. She was a client of mine trained in the gym a few years ago. Ex-army, she's also a former police officer. She was in the police for 17 years. And basically, as I got to know her, she was just starting to develop a lung condition called alpha-1, which is a genetic condition. So she hasn't brought this upon herself by smoking or anything like that. It's just the genes have basically worked against her, and she's ended up inevitably with this disease. Basically, so when I was training up in the gym before, we were working hard and we were trying to get a bleep test scores up, and as the disease was starting to take hold of her, her fitness was just plummeting, her lung capacity was plummeting, her ability to do things was just getting harder and harder. I ended up then actually leaving the job I had in the gym, and we ended up unexpectedly working together, quite closely together, and a friendship just formed even more from there, and I spent a lot of time working with her. But I think because I was seeing her sort of every single day, it became got to the point where her health was deteriorating rapidly. But because I was seeing her every day, I wasn't really sort of noticing. Well, I was noticing, but it wasn't as drastic as so I thought. Anyway, she had an oxygen tank constantly on her. If she needed to move anywhere, she'd walk over there and she'd be out of breath and she'd struggle. If she did something that was, something we could do quite easily, like go for a 1 or 2 mile walk, she'd have to be in bed for about 2 days after that. And fair play to her, she was always trying. She was, I remember she had to sit in a treadmill in a room. Got a dog and she takes the dog for a walk. She's got a cat. She's a tryer. She's a hard worker. She never gave up. She never, she wasn't feeling sick. She was, out in the snow. We had some bad snow. She was working night shifts for me. She picked everyone up. She drove went about 20 miles out of the way to pick everyone up and had a Land Rover to get them all to work. She was a hard worker, and she never let the disease beat her. Anyway, it got to the point where it was, she was on the list for a lung transplant, and it's not just a case of oh yeah, there's a set of lungs waiting on a shelf there for you. Grab them, put them in there. You've got to have the right size lungs. They've got to be able to fit you. They've got a shelf life. If say a donor has a set of lungs and they donate them, there's only a certain amount of time that they can actually be kept on a shelf. I'm not an expert in this matter entirely, but it's just from what I've speaking to her and from what I've understood and researched myself. Anyway, they've done an incredible job. I met her shortly after her transplant, and we went out for food. Basically, they've cut 2 holes in her here, and they've taken the lungs out and put new lungs back in. And straight away, she looked incredible. She looked so healthy, so happy. She didn't have the oxygen tank on her. And she's done an incredible job, and in my opinion, I think they've saved her life. I think they've saved her because I don't know how much longer she would have left in the situation she was in before, and how bad it got for her. She's back in the gym now. She can go in a swimming pool. She's got to take it easy, obviously, but these are things you just couldn't do beforehand. She's really into horse riding, so she can get riding the horses. And she hasn't, she stayed in touch with all this, and she's actually, even with the illness, she's been able to champion horse riding for people with disabilities as well. So even with the condition, she's still been pushing things and trying to go places and trying to make things better for not just herself but for other people as well. So I really respect her, and this is why I want to raise money for this hospital, because they've helped her, they're continuing to help her, because it's not just a case of here's a transplant on you go, there's continued support, so you've got to go there every single week. So she's got to go from Cardiff to London every single week. She can't drive, but they arrange a transport for her to go there and have these checkups, because the body might reject these lungs. We don't know. They're doing well from what they've seen so far, and she's doing better than expected. And her peak flow is doing well. We blow into the tube. That is doing better than expected, and it's a hell of a lot better than it was before. So the care they've given her has been incredible. So I want to raise money to support this hospital. I want to raise money so that they can continue to support my friend Julie, and also so that they can continue to support and help patients later on down the line who are inevitably going to have to go in there for heart or lung transplant. And it's not just people in London that go to these hospitals, because there's not many of them in the country. So, for example, I was talking to my friend earlier, his son's an ambulance driver, and he actually drove someone from South Wales on blue lights to this hospital and needed an urgent heart transplant, or they had something wrong with their heart. Blue lights straight to this hospital. So they're serving people all over the country. They're not entirely funded by the NHS either, so a lot of the things they need and they require come from the charity. The NHS doesn't actually fund everything. So a lot of the building work, a lot of the technology, a lot of the research, a lot of the care is funded through charitable donations. So that's why I want to raise money, and I want to invite you. I'm going to put a link in the description below, so if you want to raise some money, if you want to donate some money, for the challenge I'm going to do, or try anyway, just click on the link. Basically the challenge I'm going to be doing is an attempt to run a marathon pulling a car. Now, it's not a completely original challenge. It has been done before. It's going to be hard, I know it's going to be hard. A chap called Ross Edgley has done it before, and I didn't really know much about this guy. My friend is a fan of his, and he actually, today, speaking to him, he actually lent me his book, so I'll probably read that if I get a spare 5 minutes. So anyway, I've got just short of 2 weeks of training for this challenge. I've switched from doing sort of bodybuilding style training to really dropping up my bodybuilding style training for the last last 2 months, from when I did the previous charity challenge. I just literally, my body broke down after that, I think, and I just kind of very gentle training, and then now I ramped it up to bodybuilding training. Suddenly I'm having to train me out for this marathon. So that's what a little video at the start was all about, just to explain that was my first training session, and I did yesterday. Obviously I got to work as well, so I'm working every day, and I'm going to try and keep doing my regular gym training as well. So it's just going to be fun on the day. I can't wait to do it. It's on the 3rd of August. I'm going to be going to Leicestershire to attempt this challenge and see how I get on. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please leave a donation if you can. Leave a like on the video, leave a comment as well, let me know what you think. What I'm going to do is, this Ross Edgley guy sounds pretty cool from what I've heard, and I'm going to just I'll put a link to his channel as well, because I'm technically copying his challenge, I suppose. I haven't actively gone out and sought it, but I think I must have heard it somewhere, and it was sort of in my mind, and I thought, right, I'm going to raise some money for charity, or I'll give that a go, and yeah, so I have technically copied his challenge. Anyway, thank you very much, guys. All the best. Have a great day. Whatever you're doing, have a good one. Take care. See you soon.